This artist was known for his childlike innocence and heartfelt lyrics. Songs often express themes of love, loss, and existential reflection.
Who is the guy?
I'm not going to tell you yet.
If he gave you his album, that was the only copy he
Yeah,
had. And
yeah.
so he would then go re-record the album to give it to you then.
Like he started channeling his emotions about it's basically the girl he couldn't get into music and art, writing countless songs about her.
No,
He never wrote a song about a girl.
No, just that everything I ever want to happen has.
They were fighting over the plane, and then he just removed the keys, and his father saved them by crashing safely. I don't know how that happened.
There's no Gen Z kids watching this show. There's no alphas watching this show.
Famous musicians known for their madness. Brian Wilson?
Brian Wilson.
The Axl Rose. I don't think he's a jerk.
Yeah,
Kanye West, Courtney Love. The game is Name That Song, singer-songwriter edition. So I'm going to read a famous lyric from a well-known singer-songwriter. The people that are playing the game will have 10 seconds to guess the song title. And I might give you a hint. All great artists are crazy. Kevin.
Hello.
This artist was known for his childlike innocence and heartfelt lyrics and songs. His songs often express themes of love, loss, and existential reflection. We're going to talk about his career, and actually you can even say his name, and also a brand new trivia game here on
Real Brave Live. What? Who is the guy?
I'm not going to tell you yet.
Is it Kurt Cobain?
It's not Kurt Cobain.
Is it Bob Dylan?
I'm going to start with this. So I had this interview yesterday with a young man named Ben Rothenberg, who's interviewing for a job.
Oh.
And
Shout out Ben.
yeah, he at the end of this, it was a very nice interview. At the end of this, he actually said to me, "You ever heard of an artist named Daniel Johnston?" And I said, "No," because we were talking about indie music for some reason. And he's like, I would love for you to check him out. I always try to pass his information on and his music on to people, whoever I meet." Anyway, so we didn't hire him yet, but I actually do like him a lot, and hopefully we get to work out. But
I guess it depends on how well this video does.
if this has only 200 views, you're not hired.
You're out, Ben.
So shout out to Ben. And the first thing I came across was this quote: "All great artists are crazy." And then I was like, oh, I got to look into this. So this is the life and legacy of Daniel Johnston. And I sent you guys the documentary.
Yes.
And you've seen the documentary.
I have. I went to a screening of it when it was new that was right next to an art gallery that displayed Daniel Johnston's artwork, because he also did fine art. He would draw comic book characters in these very sort of strange scenarios. They call it outsider art when the artist doesn't know he's doing weird stuff, right? He's just doing what's natural to him. But it would be like Captain America fighting a monster that represents depression.
Yeah.
Like it's very much his mental state reflected with superheroes fighting the sort of ailments in his life. So they had all this art on display at the gallery right after the film. It was great.
What I love about his life and his story is the genius and the madness. So there's his creativity. I know this guy that is was exactly like him. He passed away a number of years ago, but he had the same kind of artistic talent where he would draw these crazy things, like a face with like a brain coming out of it, and the brain had a face, and then the brain had a face with and it kept like stuff like that. It was like wild stuff. And that guy was also a great musician. The religion and delusion part of him, because he came from a conservative Christian family,
Southern Baptist family, I think. Yeah,
there was a tragic love story part of this, which I can totally relate to, and then this lo-fi DIY music thing that he has. You can also put in the industry and the artist, I guess, in there. So that it's all combined into this wild story about this just interesting human being who got very famous with his music and probably shouldn't have in a lot of ways.
What's amazing about, first of all, I mean, it's a story of mental illness. Like at the heart of this story, it's a story about mental illness and about undiagnosed illnesses and the art of finding medicine that works for people. Like there's all these elements to it that are very serious and very sad. But there's also this amazing childlike quality to him. Like I've never heard if this is confirmed or not, but the people thought for a while that if he gave you his album, that was the only copy he had.
Yeah.
And so he would then go re-record the album to give it to you then. Like every copy was a slightly different presentation of the same music.
That's cool.
And so there are people who own the album called Yip Jump Music that have different versions of it. And it's like a collector's thing now. And just the fact that his brain didn't think to save it and copy it, but to remake it each time. It makes it really special and really interesting.
Yeah. And his earliest recordings, we'll get to that in a minute, but his earliest recordings were just tape, like him at home recording. He was raised in West Virginia. Oh, actually, no, I want to go back. The introduction to the documentary...
Which is called The Devil and Daniel Johnston, by the way, for those who want to watch it.
Thank you. Johnson opens by narrating as a ghost, referencing his past. And that's spooky, right?
Yeah.
I'd actually like to bring that up, but I don't know if we can. Should we?
We can try.
We can try. All right, let's do that. Let's do that right now.
Hello. 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 I am the ghost of Daniel Johnston. Many years ago, I lived in Austin, Texas, and I worked at McDonald's. It is an honor and a privilege to speak to you today to tell you about my condition and the other world.
Yeah, that's how it starts. It grabs you right away.
Yeah, it's eerie.
Very eerie. So yeah, I'd like to go into the story and talk about this amazing person who grew up in West Virginia. He's young as 5 children. Listening to the documentary on 2x speed and also reading the Wikipedia and stuff, it sounds like they were super religious and a conservative household. So it makes me wonder immediately, did they see the early signs of any sort of schizophrenia right away? Probably didn't.
I mean, they might have just mistook it for a devilish affliction. Could have been that.
Right,
you
right.
know?
And not to let his parents really off the hook here, but this is West Virginia and Texas in the 60s and 70s. I don't know what mental health resources were available to them in some of these circumstances.
No.
So even if they knew something was off, did they have the resources to deal with what was off?
Right. He was the type of student that was really bright. He was placed very high in all of his classes. And in high school, this is where his artistic talent stood out. So he started doing those drawings. And you got to see those drawings.
They had about 150 of them on display in this art gallery.
Yeah. One of them is the frog one, right? Was that there?
Yeah, that wasn't there, no. The famous, the cover to the Hi, How Are You album. No, that wasn't there.
Well, that sucks. Well, then it was a waste of time. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
Another really interesting thing, I don't know if this is in college or later in high school. It sounds like college. He was introduced to someone named Lori Allen, and he became obsessed with her, right? The thing about that is he started channeling his emotions about her, about this. It's basically the girl he couldn't get into music and art, writing countless songs about her.
We all been there, am I right?
Yeah.
All of us, I'm sure, have a number of those songs in our.
Yeah, but
well,
wait
not
a
me.
second. But wait. Hold on a second. This is countless songs. I mean, I think it's like almost not all of his songs, but it's a lot. Like many of his songs are about one girl.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
We should probably try not to use that word in association with a mentally ill.
It's definitely
here,
eccentric
but,
and maybe a little excessive.
Okay, so let's. It's crazy. Okay, it's not the crazy that you're thinking.
It's intense.
It's intense. Yeah, I'm sure she was scared.
I have friends who have mental illness issues, so I can say crazy.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how that works.
Oh, that's how it works. I know a crazy person. I'm not allowed to say
Some of my best friends are crazy.
yeah. So I have a personal story. I would think in high school there was a girl. I wrote a song about her, personal song. Mm-hmm. And then my friends were like, "Oh, you heard you write songs?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, you sing us a song." And like an idiot, I played that song.
Was her name like Sarah Wilson? And you said like, "This song is about Sarah Wilson." Like, did you lay it out like perfectly clear about it?
No, but
sit behind you in homeroom.
No, it was. The name of the song was Maria.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they asked, like, who's the girl? Who's the girl? And then
And you were like, Mary, the mother of God, of course, right?
Before you
Maria.
know it, the whole school knew that I wrote a song about a girl. Jesus. And yeah, but it was like my calling card. Actually, I gave it out. I'm like, I wrote a song about a girl. I wasn't obsessed with her, but I had a huge crush on her. And when I saw him talking about her on this, and even like there's video of the documentary release, and they brought her out,
Yeah.
and he hadn't seen her in years. Like,
Whoa.
hug and all this stuff.
Was she still hot?
No, no.
What a bummer.
She was really cute. I could see why he was obsessed with her. She was really cute.
I think also for those of us, and I will put myself, Jesus Christ, I will put myself in the category of the mentally ill. I think for those of us that have mental health struggles, a lot of times you put something as this like unattainable goal because it's easier to focus on this thing that will never happen than it is to focus on the real life shit you're dealing with. Yeah. And so I think in some ways she was his like shield against the world. If he could sing about her, he didn't have to worry about the other stuff. That's me psychoanalyzing the guy. But
that's really good.
Can't relate.
No?
No.
You never wrote a song about a girl?
No, just that everything I ever want to happen happens.
What is
That's
how does that?
That's manifestation, is what that is.
Let's just. I'm looking right at the listener here. Just so you know, this is Kevin's dream because everything he ever wanted to happen happens. So this right here, right now, Kevin's dream.
When I close my eyes, you all disappear. I don't have object permanence. I'm unwell.
Brian spoke for me, so thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
He escaped to a carnival. He's one of those guys.
Oh,
who ran away with the carnival. But this is where he found himself in Austin. He was living with family and started writing and recording some of his songs, and becoming part of the scene, the Austin scene. Oh. Austin's a cool place.
Yeah,
it was happening back in this is the early '80s or mid '80s.
Yeah, there was a like an MTV. I don't know if it was Spring Break. There was some sort of MTV thing in Austin. Mm-hmm. And he was not well known at that point. He played shows around Austin, but no one really knew him. And he just like made it his mission to be on MTV as much as he could that week, and like snuck into things and wound up in front of every camera. And that kind of gave him this like level of celebrity he wasn't prepared for.
He landed an appearance on MTV's Cutting Edge, introducing him to a national audience, and his folks back home saw it. His family saw it, and they were shocked. So here's a guy who ran away, who nobody thought he would be anything, but all of a sudden is performing in front of people, and it started solidifying himself into the alternative music scene that would become, pretty popular. Alternative music.
We should talk about his music itself, because it's really interesting. Did you listen to any, Kevin? I know.
I listened to the album Hi, How Are You?
Okay.
Okay,
so that's fairly representative.
All I had time for
of the type of stuff that he was doing. But so a lot.
I have a cut here. Oh, you want to do that real quick?
Let's play that. Yeah.
So on Spotify, I went to the earliest thing that I can find. It's "Songs of Pain," and it's the first cut on the album, "Grievances," and I believe I have it up top. Here it is. It's right here, and let's see what happens.
If I had my own way, you'd be with me here today. But I rarely have my own way. I guess that's why you're not here with me today. And the librarian said, you can't buy no respect. I said, hey lady, what can you expect when I'm lying on the floor?
Yeah. So a lot of his stuff has sort of very traditional like pop hooks to it. Well written songs from an instrumental standpoint. And the lyrics all sound almost like an 8-year-old writes them. There's a song called "Life in Vain," which is my favorite Daniel Johnston song. It's a beautiful, heartbreaking song. And the lyrics in the beginning sound sort of normal. And then at a certain point, they take this shift where it just sounds like this person doesn't know what songs are. Like the lyrics don't start to not rhyme, or that they don't fit the same like meter, and it just feels very honest and natural. And a professional songwriter, I don't want to say that, a more professional songwriter.
Well, what's the difference between Daniel Johnston and a more professional songwriter?
What I mean is somebody who takes the craft more professionally is they would shave those parts off. They would make those lyrics fit into the meter. He never does that.
Or otherwise struggle to do it intentionally.
Right, exactly. Whereas like for him, this is how he naturally writes, and all the songs come off sounding just a little bit off from what you expect them to be. And because of that, they're really memorable.
Yeah.
But I think it also maybe might turn some people off because it is amateurish in parts.
I love when like a couplet doesn't rhyme, and I expect it to rhyme. I'm like, okay, it's gonna end in ed, but it doesn't.
Yeah. But you're a sophisticated music listener. You don't need everything to fit in.
Well,
to like look, he listens to Fish.
Hold on,
Fish fan.
Hold on. There's not a lot of Fish songs that rhyme.
You just gave him a huge compliment there. That's with abundance of
I'm learned.
doubt.
I went to school.
Yep. Anyway, so he recorded that on so they had these tape decks. Like, I don't know how to describe them. They're just kind of rectangular, and they had like record, play. I can't believe I'm trying to describe this. Rewind, fast forward, pause.
Who's our audience? There's no Gen Z kids watching this show. There's no alphas watching this show.
I mean, we're pretty mid.
If you're watching this, a tape cassette is a new technology. It's past the record, and it's like an 8-track.
Yeah.
It's like an 8-track.
Anyway, so a lot of tape hiss on there. You're not going to get that on Spotify. Anything that we have out there today is pristine, but tape hiss happened because you had tape, which, what is tape, Brian?
Tape is a magnetic strip that no, I'm not going to go through this.
Okay. I thought you'd want to do it. You're nerdy like that.
I am, but I'm not going to do it.
You're not gonna do it?
All I know about it is that it is magnetic.
It is magnetic tape, yes.
There's all the particles that are in there, and they align together, and they make sound.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, back to the story. So he lands, he gets the cutting edge, but this is where things start to kind of fall apart. He's diagnosed with... somewhere around this time, he's diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia-like symptoms. He becomes mildly obsessed with another girl, who thinking that she was his fiancée, and she's on the documentary Kathy McCarthy. He starts smoking a ton of pot. So here we go, down the road. Does a hit of acid at a Butthole Surfers show. And then,
Are you unfamiliar with the band Butthole Surfers, Kevin?
I just wasn't ready for the statement, did a hit of acid at a Butthole Surfer show.
It's the name of my new album.
A hit of acid at the Butthole Surfer show.
Yeah.
Great.
And then from there out, starts doing more acid. So we've had this conversation before with acid and schizophrenia.
Yeah,
and
acid and mental health is two great tastes that taste great together.
Not to laugh, I'm just saying, like, there is a history of this out there. He had multiple psychotic breaks. He was obsessed with the devil, 666, and the number 9. He had violent altercations from there out.
In one such instance, he was in New York City. He came up with the guys from Sonic Youth to do some recording, and went off his meds.
Sonic Youth.
Yeah, and like went off his meds in New York and disappeared, and no one knew where he was.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know New York. He's schizophrenic. He's off his meds. He's just wandering the city, and they found him eventually. I don't even know how they found him, but
They found him in New Jersey, right off the GWB. There's a motel right there. They actually show it.
Yeah,
and they found him. There was a recording of it and everything.
Yeah, It's crazy.
I don't know why they were recording it, but it happened.
I want to point out, we're talking about a independent artist, lo-fi. We're right now, New York City, mental health issues, schizophrenia-like things. This could be about Wesley Willis.
Yes, it could be.
That's right. That's who I was trying to think about.
Yes.
That's Wesley Willis was the Chicago-born artist that did those
amazing songs. Yeah,
amazing songs.
Great music.
I'm not allowed to use the word
The C word.
Yeah. That's what everyone means when they say the C word, but you're not supposed to say the C word. That's what they're talking about.
And then there's the infamous Casper the Friendly Ghost incident. Do you know this, Brian?
I want you to tell it, though.
Okay, so there's this incident where he's with his dad on a plane. And he's reading the comic book on the plane, and then begins to think that they're floating, and I'm actually getting this wrong now.
It's something like he's reading this comic book about Casper the Friendly Ghost, and then begins to think that that's real.
Yeah.
And tries to kill his father, right?
So he goes there. His father was an airplane. He was an Air Force pilot. he begins to.
Wait, are they in like a passenger?
They're
jet?
in like a small
Or are they like
plane,
a Cessna?
Like a Cessna, yeah.
Okay.
and his father is
Right.
flying the plane.
Okay.
And Daniel removes the keys mid-flight.
Oh, throws them. Up
Yeah, they were fighting over I guess he just wanted to die. They were fighting over the plane, and then he just removed the keys, and his father saved them by crashing safely. I don't know how that happened. When you see the plane, it's like
It's
this.
crazy. The footage of that of the aftermath of the accident. You think, how the hell did these two guys walk away from this?
Yeah. And you see his father talking about it in the documentary. You really have to check it out. It's a wonderful documentary, which is called
The Devil and Daniel
you.
Johnston.
And he was hospitalized after that, obviously, and he was put on a cocktail of drugs for psychotherapy and psychotherapy. So he's quoted after that by saying he couldn't write anymore for a while because the drugs really kind of made him level out. So I wanted to talk about that because you have we'll call it the illness, which I don't know if it's an illness. It is an illness, right, to some extent, but it made him be the artist that he was. And he was this unique person who was able to create incredible art and had this vision for the future that nobody else had. He was told that he wasn't going to be anything in his life, and he did the art regardless. Is that because of his mental state, and then they took that away from him and gave him the drugs? It's a tough one.
You have to think about it from two perspectives, right? On one hand, I am a son and a father and a friend and a brother, and to all the people who are connected to me, if they had to choose my art or my life, they would choose my life because that's ultimately more important. But for me, if I was creating what I felt was like my life's purpose and that was taken away from me, that would be a hard pill to swallow.
Yes.
Kevin, what do you
100%.
think with it?
I think I would find a way to do it without impacting everybody that I love. Boom.
Explain that? Because no, they're going to take it away from you. The implication here is that
So I have to choose between
the mental state that you have, that you were born with,
Yeah.
that acid and certain other recreational drugs have potentially made
Is
worse.
this an intervention?
Yes.
What's going on here?
What are you doing? So now that is kind of escalated your mental state. Now people want to correct you, right? So they're doing that through a cocktail of drugs to correct that. Now that's going to take away your.
The one bit of context here, though, is that in this scenario, Kevin has also pulled the keys out of a plane and has disappeared in New York City.
It's also
and
about the safety of the people around.
Right.
No,
yes.
I'm being devil's advocate here. I'm not advocating for people to not take care of themselves.
Of course.
All right. Kevin, get some help.
Yeah, I'd probably just take my meds. I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, and eventually, he does find a way to begin to be creative again after this.
Yes.
And has his greatest successes after this, even though I think if people are looking at it realistically, they're celebrating the past stuff more than the present. Like, people were going to see him not because of his new albums, but because of the stuff that happened when he was mentally ill.
Right.
And there's a weird balance there, too. Like, are you celebrating this person for the wrong reasons? Are you celebrating the wrong parts of this? It's a hard conversation.
Yeah. And he got famous. Kurt Cobain started wearing his T-shirt, the "Hi, how are you" T-shirt. That sparked massive interest from labels, of course. And he refused an offer from Elektra Records
Wasn't it because they had Metallica on the label?
because of his religious beliefs. He refused the offer because Metallica was on the label and was satanic. That's nuts. Signed with Atlantic. But it was a commercial failure, leading to his dismissal.
But again, even we try to give the public some credit here. It's tough to listen to.
No, it's not. You're not going to listen to that at home and this is fun. I love this so
Yeah, I
much.
tried listening to it while I was working today, and it did not go well. It was very distracting.
Yeah.
Went down a rabbit hole. One of the songs, every song on this "Hi, How Are You" record is unique in its own way, but he uses a lot of I guess what would the audio equivalent of found footage would be
Like found sound.
found sound.
Yeah.
He uses a lot of that, so you hear animal noises, and then I had to like look up what recording it was. It was some big band like bebop jazz guy. I thought it was Charlie Parker. It turned out to be Johnny something or other.
Johnny Be Good.
No.
Johnny Paycheck.
Johnny
Johnny
Mnemonic.
Dankworth and his orchestra. And like I went down like a rabbit hole trying to find that recording because it's like not in a lot of places.
So what you're saying is you didn't do any work today.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to Kevin's point, like this is music that is first of all for a specific audience, but also even with that specific audience, it's not all the time music. Like you're having a barbecue in the summer, you're not putting on Daniel Johnston. It's just not,
Also,
it's not gonna
there's a song called "Poor You," and I was looking into that a little bit, and I stumbled on a compilation video from the TV program The Sopranos.
sets it for you.
There's a lot of times in that show where it's like, "Oh, poor you,"
Yeah.
you know,
That's interesting.
Tony's mom to him,
Yeah.
Tony to Carmela.
Yeah.
So when you say you were researching,
Yeah,
you weren't doing any work.
I was watching Sopranos and
Okay.
listening to jazz.
No more for you. No more. Famous musicians known for their madness. A little side thing here. So we've got Daniel Johnston. We've got Syd Barrett.
Yeah.
We've talked about Gigi Allen.
Yep.
Have we?
The Murder Devils, maybe.
Gigi Allen, the most dangerous man in rock. You've heard of this guy?
No, I haven't.
He defecated on stage, ate his own feces, all that stuff. He was a Lower East Side guy, early 90s.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah. He smashed his own face into his microphone. He was there's a whole documentary on him.
Yes.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
You've seen that?
I have.
Oh.
I love music documentaries. In case no one's figured this out yet, I love music documentaries.
Yeah, that's going to be on your tombstone.
Sure.
Okay. Brian Wilson?
Brian Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, Brian Wilson.
What about Rocky Erickson from the 13th Floor Elevators?
Another Texas band with a mentally ill frontman.
Yep. Phil Spector is on here. I like that. A lunatic with a gun fetish. Who knew?
That's the name of my next album.
I was going to put Bill Cosby on here, but he's not a musician.
And he's just an asshole.
It's just a
That's not a musician.
No. Surprisingly, Iggy Pop used to cut himself on stage
Yep.
and roll around in broken glass.
Smear peanut butter on his chest.
Yep.
About Ozzy Osbourne.
I don't know if
he ate
he's
that bad on accident.
He might have just been like really high, which I guess is its own thing, but it's not really mental illness.
Yeah.
No. I don't agree with the Axl Rose. I just think he's a jerk.
Yeah, I also
same.
think he's
Yeah.
a jerk.
And-
And we should stop conflating, mental illness with just being an asshole.
Yeah, just
Right,
being a
yes.
jerk.
Yeah.
Keith Moon, just a drunk.
Right.
Okay, fair. Honorable mentions: Kanye West, Courtney Love.
I mean, Kanye West is like diagnosed bipolar at this point.
Oh, is
so,
he? Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like he's both an asshole and mentally ill, which is they're not mutually exclusive boxes, folks. The Venn diagram.
There's so many great compilation videos of Kanye West saying just out of pocket stuff. We could talk about it off.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Jim Morrison, Lou Reed, Prince, and my least favorite one, which I didn't like to see, was Fiona Apple because I really like her music, and she once entered a concert early by lying on the stage and saying she couldn't do it anymore.
There's a difference between somebody having a struggle, like in a temporary moment, and classifying them as musicians making their art out of their mental illness. Like to me, there's a difference there.
Yeah, I guess. I really like. Do you like Fiona
do,
Apple's
yeah.
music? All right. Her new album was good.
Yes, it was. Fetch the bolt cutters.
Yeah. No, it's out there. It's good. Well, you know what that time is right now, guys, right?
Is it game time?
I think it's going to be game time.
Yay!
Yay!
Do we have music?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to liven it up a little bit with a new game. I know you're excited about it because I'm excited. If you were to see me right now, I'm very excited. The game is Name That Song, singer-songwriter edition, Kevin. I know you're famously really, really big and into lyrics.
No, you're right. Swole as fuck.
So I'm gonna read a famous lyric from a well-known singer-songwriter. The audience, there's no audience here. The people that are playing the game will have 10 seconds to guess the song title. And I might give you a hint. Who cares? I think they're pretty easy.
May I make a suggestion for this?
Sure.
Can we turn the music off? We're trying to think of other songs.
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But I kind of want.
So you're gonna be reading lyrics?
You know, not to get producer heated. The editor can put music in post.
No. This is way more fun.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Bill O'Reilly, this son of a
You
bitch.
are 100% correct, but I love talking over that music.
Why don't I get you like a little ear pod?
Can we get,
a little
can we
earbud?
get him one of those long, skinny microphones too?
Yeah.
And like a checkered jacket?
Can I do? Can we have some sound effects? Can you? All right, thanks. Can we do this? I got that.
Sure.
Can we do that too?
Yeah.
You like that?
You can add those. I'm 100% fine with that.
Okay. What about?
Sure.
That's normal for a studio audience
Yeah.
to do. There's the applause sign and then the yell surprise.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a prize. Sorry. We do have a prize. And we're gonna do with we're gonna start here. Classic singer-songwriters from the 1960s and 80s. We're gonna go
60s and 80s.
I'm sorry, 60s through 80s.
I was gonna say we're skipping the 70s completely.
Yeah. It's
Fuck the 70s.
Yeah.
70s.
We've got 4 questions here. We're gonna go Kevin first, then you, then you, then you.
Can I just make sure I understand the rules because I was not listening?
Yes,
You're gonna read lyrics,
and then you're gonna answer who it was,
who the artist was.
and hopefully the song.
Okay.
Okay. This
Bonus
one-
points for the song.
Bonus points for the song. We have no song in the background. Have you noticed that? Are you happy, Brian?
Very.
God damn it. All right, classic singer-songwriters from 1960s and 1980s. Here's the first one. Kevin, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and the regular clown shuffles in.
That's Billy Joel with Piano Man.
Very good. Very, very, very good.
One of my least favorite songs in the world. Hate that song.
You know, I think he hates it too.
If I was ever at a bar and somebody said, "Can I have a tonic and gin?" I would break a bottle over their head. Just
He had a
saying.
rhyme.
Yeah, it sucks. Write a better song. Put yourself in a position where you have to rhyme tonic and not gin.
Yeah. All right. Brian,
Yeah.
you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
That would be John Lennon with Imagine.
Very, very, very good. You've got the old scoreboard up.
It's up.
Excellent. Very good. You know what else is up?
Kevin.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
I see a red door and I want it painted black.
That's going to be Painted Black by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
And Brian, these are obviously a little easier and get harder over time.
Okay.
Like Kevin, we've got
Help.
like a bridge over. You can call HR.
I am HR.
Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay Kevin down.
It is Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. We are again reaching Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL level. Easy here. You know,
All right,
S
90s,
words.
90s to 2000s. We've got Kevin up first. We're tied, aren't we?
We are tied,
It's very
2-2.
exciting. Very exciting. The lyric: "My shadow's the only one that walks beside me."
Is that I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. It's Green Day. Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Yeah, very good.
Can you record that version for me? That's the best version of the song I've ever heard.
How many times have you taught that song?
4,000.
4,000 times.
Once myself.
Really? Oh, I taught the song a lot.
Okay, and
The difference is I don't force fish songs on my kids, so that's why
I don't either. They
right.
naturally become.
That's why, like every student that I have that you've subbed for, I look in their practice pad and there's a fish song in their practice pad because they just all the 1 week you were subbing for them.
That's
Yeah.
not true. I don't do that.
no, but now there's a new one. Is Wolfpack now? He's starting
Yeah,
to
I
teach
know.
Wolfpack.
Yeah.
I have been teaching Olivia Wolfpack on the bass.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I accept. I introduced Melissa to Wolfpack. She likes it.
Wolfpack is great.
It's very good.
Very good.
It's very, very good.
Agreed.
Who's up next? I lost track.
Me.
Okay. Yes, I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. 90s to 2000s. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid.
Was this taken from my journal in 1992? I don't know this one.
That is I'm Just a Kid by Simple Plan.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. And it's going to get a little bit harder.
A little bit harder. We went from Imagine to Simple Plan.
I thought you were in a 90s band.
Yeah, not doing that shit.
That was the early.
That was the early 2000s. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Kevin.
Good Charlotte.
Kevin.
Like bad Charlotte, am I right?
Kevin, I'm a creep.
Oh, fuck this. This is not fair at all. This is bullshit.
Let him finish.
I'm a weirdo.
Oh man, is this
What the hell am I doing here?
That's gonna be "Creep" by Radiohead.
That's very good. He's winning again.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
The first one was a legitimate, like, I'm fine with him getting Boulevard of Broken Dreams. But fucking I'm a creep.
He might not be a Radiohead fan.
I know he is.
It's so funny because he heard me recording that like in the room next to him for the program.
I secretly want Kevin to win.
Oh, I know.
Next up, we have Brian with this banger from the 90s to the 2000s.
Is it going to be in English or are you going to give me some, like,
It's going to be
Chinese lyrics?
Bangladesh. You call me up again just to break me like a promise. It's a very famous artist that's out today. Very famous female artist.
I'm going to guess it's a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah, it's Taylor Swift. Very good. But what's the name of the song?
Is it from the 2000s?
It's from the 2000s, her early career, when she was still a wee lass.
I'm going to guess it is... I don't know. No fucking clue. Dear John.
Can I steal?
Yeah.
Like a hurricane?
No, it's All Too Well by Taylor Swift. All right. Kevin.
Again, fucking Radiohead versus
And
Taylor Swift.
and I said. And I said.
What
Is
about
it-
Breakfast at Tiffany's by
Yeah.
Deep Blue
God
something?
damn you!
Yes!
Oh, this is
Yes!
such bullshit.
I love that song. And I said, what about
Oh my God! I'm
Breakfast
gonna,
at Tiffany's?
when I
right.
turn into the Joker,
Okay.
point to this moment, okay, right here.
I love when Brian gets angry.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Next up. All right. Next up, we've got
He starts speaking Spanish.
Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine.
That's not from the 90s or 2000s. That is from Patti Smith, the first track on her debut album.
Very good. What's the name of it?
That song is, it's not Gloria, is
It's
it?
Gloria. Very
It'd
good.
be so funny if that was wrong because Dan was referencing a cover version of that song.
Very good.
I
Shut
feel
up,
like I should have
Kevin.
an extra point for identifying it 40 years earlier than we said we were, but I'll let it go.
I forgot to say that this is the bonus round, deep cuts for hardcore music nerds.
Whoa.
Sorry about that. That's my bad. Okay, Kevin, you're up next. Well, Kevin,
Yeah.
I never pray, but tonight I'm on my knees, yeah.
I don't. This is gonna be Guns N' Roses, "On My Knees."
No, this is Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve.
You know, he got a chance to steal. I'm just saying. I didn't even get it. I would have known that.
Oh,
one.
You should have said steal.
shit.
Well, because you wanted to do it so fast.
I'm sorry. You know what? I didn't know that was part of the rules.
Stop the steal, guys. Stop the steal.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
what people are talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Who's up next?
I am. I can tie with this one, by the way.
You can tie.
Yes.
Okay, well, here we go. Isn't it ironic, don't you think?
Ironic by Alanis Morissette.
Hitless? Did you say hitless?
Alanis Morissette.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, Kevin, back to you.
We're tied now.
We're
Just saying.
tied. This is super TV. I've seen fire. Poof, I've seen rain.
Yeah. That's the acoustic guitar guy.
Can I steal? Can I steal?
No, because I know what it is. He said the words are "Fire and Rain" by James Taylor.
Yep.
I think you did pretty good there.
Yes.
Fire and Rain by James Taylor. Very good.
Quick story here.
Yeah,
There's a
Swift.
writer named Dave Holmes. He was an MTV VJ back in the day.
Yep.
And when he was in third grade, I read his book. He said this in the book. His teacher told him that song is about the end of the robot apocalypse. How it's like written from the perspective of this like post-apocalyptic world. And it's not at all. It's about a friend dying. But
Oh,
That's a much more interesting story.
That is much more interesting. Thank you for that background. This is the last question I have. So if you guys remain tied, then you have to fight each other to the death.
Okay.
Scrappy.
So here it is, the last song of this tirade. It is I've Got My First Real Six String, and I bought it at the 5 and Dime.
I heard this song in the car this morning.
Okay.
Steal.
No, it is The Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams.
You guys have tied, and nobody wins this teeth whitening thing that I found in my drawer because I had no money. So unfortunately, nobody wins this today, and you guys are tied. I forgot to go to the bank. So what did we learn today? We learned that Kevin has a big dong, and
I'll take it.
I knew that already.
I'll take it.
Daniel Johnston is a wonderful artist, singer-songwriter who passed away in 2019. And that's the end of the story.
Wow, those are the two things we learned today.
Yeah.
Wow.
The winner received nothing, but thank you for playing the game today. Today was all about some history and some fun and some games. But if you want to learn music, you can go to realbraveaudio.com and find everything about us there. Tune in next week for something just better than this one. See you next week. Bye.